Hello and welcome to another episode of Ewell Acres. Today we're going to be continuing talking about strawberries by talking about the difference between June-bearing strawberries and ever-bearing strawberries. Let's get started. As a quick side note, if you like what we're doing, if you're gaining value out of these videos, please don't forget to subscribe. Click on that bell for notifications. Not only does it help us out with the YouTube algorithm, but it helps us to continue to spread these videos so we can continue to spread this knowledge for everyone so we can continue to learn from each other. Now, when you're looking at strawberries, there are typically going to be two different types of strawberries. There are going to be what are called June-bearing strawberries, and there are going to be what are called ever-bearing strawberries. Now, when you look at strawberries themselves, they're typically going to have all the same growing parameters, meaning they all like a soil with well-draining, high organic matter. They're going to need a period of cold dormancy so that way they can rest up over the winter time. They are all going to be perennials with a productive lifespan of 3 to 5 years, with the first year highly recommending you take off the blossoms so that way all of its energy and growth can go into the first year of the plant. That way subsequent 2, 3, 4, year 4, you're going to have a much higher production of strawberries. Now, when you're getting to take a look at the actual definition of June-bearing strawberries versus ever-bearing strawberries, well, the name in itself is kind of self-explanatory, but it can vary a little bit. What June-bearing means is typically strawberries in their own native area where they were developed. Typically, they're going to start fruiting in the June period of time, at least in North America. When you're living in a different climate, let's say you're in Australia or on the southern hemisphere, your seasons are going to be completely different. So they're going to be fruiting in a different time of year, a different month. But the term itself is going to still apply. What it means is June-bearing is going to be once a year seasonal crop where you're going to grow your strawberries, they're going to grow entirely, and their entire crop is going to come on all at once in a 3 to 4 week period of time. Then it's going to lose the ability, or it's not likely that it's going to be having any fruit at all. Then it's going to do a period of time through high summer where it's going to take up some nutrients, help to restore its energy back in the roots. And once you get to really the hot summer months and high summer, is then going to go dormant, go into itself, calm down, and go for a dormancy period of time. And it's going to only set fruit once per year. But that setting of fruit once per year is going to be a very large amount. Now, the advantage of having a June-bearing plant is if you're going to have a setting where you want all of your fruit at once, you're going to be doing canning, preserving a tremendous amount, you're going to have all of that fruit at once. So it's going to be very easy to manage your crop that you only have to worry about for a 3 to 4 week period of time, going out every day, every other day, once every 3 days to look through your strawberries, picking those out, going them in. That is the advantage of those. Downside is you're going to be getting all of your fruit all at once. And so you're going to have to, if you want strawberries long term, you're going to have to look at different ways for preserving, whether that's making jam, whether you want to freeze it, whether you want to dry it so you can make strawberry chips, freeze dry, or whatever your method of preservation is. Long term, you're going to have to do those preservation methods. But because you're getting them all at once, typically speaking, when you're looking at trying to preserve, you're going to be doing a larger batches all at once rather than a pint here, a pint there. You're going to want to do a gallon of strawberry jam at a time, and it's going to make it much more convenient. You can process it all at the same time. But when it comes to fresh eating strawberries, it makes it a little bit more difficult because it's all at once. Now, ever-bearing is the exact opposite. It's going to have several small batches of strawberries throughout the year. Typically, it's going to be 2 batches, and that's what ever-bearing means, is it's going to produce fruit throughout the entire year. And depending on your climate, that will depend on how many batches you have. If you're in a relatively moderate climate with lower temperatures in the summertime, it's going to start bearing fruit in late spring, early summer, all throughout summer into early fall. Now, when you're in a climate like mine, where you get a very cold winter and a very, very hot summer, typically it's going to be isolated to 2 periods of time. You're going to get an onset of fruit in the springtime, and then you're going to get an onset of fruit in the fall time as the temperatures start to cool it back off. The particular time when you get that strawberry fruit is going to be much lower in quantity, but the length of your fruiting time is going to be a longer period of time. So that is the major difference. If you prefer to eat fresh eating strawberries, where you want a little bit at a time, go out, pick some, throw some in your cereal a little bit at a time, Everbearing might be the way for you. So that is the advantages of Everbearing. The downside to Everbearing is if you want to do a lot of preservation of your strawberries, it makes it a little bit more difficult to actually collect a quantity large enough to make it worth your while. Because you're getting them in small batches over a long period of time, typically just throwing them in the fridge, trying to save them, it's not going to be enough to get them if you want for your preservations. So depending on whether you want fresh eating strawberries or preservation eating strawberries, or if you want a little bit of both, you can grow both. Now, when you're dealing with Everbearing versus June-bearing strawberries, typically they're going to have slightly different traits. Your Everbearing strawberries are typically going to be a little bit smaller in size because they're trying to spread out those resources over a long period of time. And typically speaking, your June-bearing strawberries are going to be much larger in size, much more impact of flavor, because it's trying to take all of its resources and shove it through in a very short period of time, which means it can produce much larger, bulkier strawberries. But those are general traits across the board, not exact traits that are going to be with every individual species. Just like every other fruit and vegetable, different species are going to have different sizes, different flavor profiles, different resistance to various diseases. So they can vary based on species. But this has been a quick look versus June-bearing versus Everbearing strawberries. So now here comes to the question, what is your personal favorite? Do you prefer June-bearing strawberries because you like preservation, a whole bunch all at once, make it easy to pick? Do you prefer Everbearing strawberries because you want a little bit over time? What is your personal favorite? Let us know in the comments below. As a quick side note, if you're planning on growing strawberries for a commercial benefit where you want to grow them and sell them, then you may want to consider moving towards June-bearing strawberries, because logistically speaking, it's going to make it much easier on you, where you have a crop, you grow it, you harvest it all at once, and then you're done, can move on. If you want to have another crop like my buddy does in Hawaii, then what you can do is pull up all those strawberries, wrap them up, put them in cold storage for a period of dormancy that it requires, then bring them back out and grow them again if you're in a greenhouse setting or something like that. That way you can grow strawberries year-round, even in the dead of winter, because you're artificially creating that cold dormancy period of time. But if you are going to do this method, I would highly recommend on the bags when you're harvesting them, keep track what the equivalent year is, because the older the strawberries are, the lower the production quantity is going to be per strawberry. So if you're doing it on your 4th, 5th dormancy cycle, but it's only year 2 because you're doing a condensed growing version in your greenhouse, you want to keep that in mind so you're not investing in resources if that strawberry is no longer at its productive life value. But we're going back to the original question. What do you prefer and why? June-bearing or Everbearing? Let us know in the comments below. I'm always excited to hear what your guys' personal thoughts are. Did I hit the mark? Did I didn't? Let us know in the comments as well. This has been another episode of Ewell Acres, looking at the difference between June-bearing and Everbearing strawberries. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like what we're doing, if you're gaining value out of these videos, please don't forget to subscribe, click on that bell for notifications, and we look forward to seeing you next time.